All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makak double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. I found this video based on something that one of the elders, the elder of the GMS Chicago, right, Malcolm, right, he posted up something about this documentary, right, and then I did some searching and I found this 7-minute clip because I was trying to find the whole documentary, which is called American Masters PBS, but I haven't been able to find the whole documentary, so I'm still keep trying to find that whole thing. And if somebody knows where this is, then send me the link. If you watch this video, send me the link of the full documentary, man, because I want to watch that. But anyway, what it shows in this documentary, man, is that the same thing from just this clip here, the same thing that brothers be saying all the time about how Eve is pretty much Esau's pit bull, man, right? The so-called black woman, the Israelite woman, right? She's pretty much Esau's like hitman, and all you was seeing through this whole documentary is how he was whispering or telling her what things to do, right, and what things to say, and then she'd knock on these people's doors trying to tell them to take the thing, right, and then he'd only add in extra words occasionally, man, but he was making her be the face of what he wanted to try and push, man, and it shows as well on this documentary, on this little clip here, which is what 7 minutes 3 seconds, man. It shows that women are very gullible, man, right? Because every single woman's house that he was going to was all kissing his ass, right? Was all happy to see him and all of that, right? And the one Israelite man's house that they went to, right? The one Israelite man's house that they went to, he was backing him up, man. He was like, I ain't finna take that. I don't trust it, right? He said, telling them it takes years to make something like that, and they couldn't really say nothing, right? And then he started still saying things to them, running them away from his house afterwards as well. But then when you watch some of these things anyway, you gotta be suspicious, man, of everything that we watch, because the door number of the house added up to 6, man, and you know how these demons, like, they're all about the numbers and all that stuff. So that could have been something that they hired somebody to be opposition to it anyway, man, right? But the point, if we're to believe it's real, right, then it shows that the only man that they showed in the video was against it. But most of the women, if not all of them, was in somewhat or some way, shape, or form happy to see this guy, and they was prepared to take it, man, or they'd already taken it, and they was listening and believing every single thing that he was telling them, man. Because despite what the Israelite woman wants to say and wants to think, because she's been made as considered as the head of the nation, which she's not, by the way, but she's been made and been given the power to seem and think that she's the head of the nation. She thinks that she's more different than any other woman of any other nation, and she's got some kind of more like power or more wisdom than any of the other nations women. But she's just as gullible and stupid as any other woman, man. They're just as gullible and stupid and easy to deceive as any other woman from any other nation, man. But they've just been put in a position of power, which is not a position that they can even handle, man. And the proof that they can't handle it is because every single time you tell them about what they've did wrong, they don't want to accept that. They always want to try and put the blame on somebody else. So that's how you know that somebody's not supposed to rule, man. If they can't handle rebuke, man. When King David was on the throne, right, and he'd taken a lot of men's lives away in order to get the throne, what did a Benjamite come and do? The Benjamite came and said, "You bloody man." He was calling him, "You bloody man," cursing him out, man, cursing King David out, to the point where some of King David's mighty men wanted to come down and slay that man. But King David said, "No, leave him to speak, man." King David was prepared to accept that what them things that man was saying about him was in somewhat true, man. He was prepared to accept that. He was prepared to accept that, man. But these women, they can't accept that, man, and they're gullible, man. They're gullible. Let me see if I can just skip through. You see? She's at the door with this on her face, right? But she's saying she's took it or whatever. I think she said she took it. But then he's there without one on his face, and the woman next to him is without one on her face. And some of these people haven't got one on their face, and some of the people did. You see what I mean? Like, it's a joke. It's a joke, man. Then she, with this Israelite woman here, was saying, "Oh, the only reason why I'm talking to you in front of here like this is because I've took it, and you, and that's the only reason I can be in front of you." When now we're seeing that it was all BS anyway, you know. But she's just Look at the way, look at the admiration in the eyes, and this is the Jake I was talking about that was not rocking with it, man. He weren't rocking with it, man. He was asking them questions, man. And then you look at his face. Look at his face right there, man. Look at his face right there. I don't even want to play this because I already know it's gonna happen. And you see there now, he's got the arms folded technique. He's uncomfortable, and she's there, which is what these Israelite women always try and do. They try and massage the ego of Esau, man. You know what I mean? Always, man. They are enemy down here, man. Straight up, man. Micah chapter 7 and verse 10, man. Right? Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Her eyes shall behold it. Now she shall be trodden down as the mire of the streets, man. Micah chapter 7 and verse 10. Right? These Israelite women are enemy out here, man. Straight up. And look how scared this little girl was, man. And she's in the right mind, man. She already knows what time it is when Esau rocks up to the house. She already knows to be. Look at the fear in her eyes, man. She looks shook. She looks scared, man. She looks scared. And this Israelite woman here had a bit of sense. The one standing behind the little girl there. She had a bit of sense and was like, well, I've heard that if you take the thing anyway, it doesn't really stop you from handing it over or any of that. It doesn't really stop you from getting it. It doesn't really stop. And then he came with some of his witchcraft and started spewing out his madness, right? So within a household, there's always going to be some people that are not with it anyway, man. But the point I'm making of the whole thing of what I'm saying all these words for, man, is to just say that, like, they try and use the woman or women against us, man. And the women, because they just desire to have power, right? Even if it comes from being wicked, they're prepared to rock with it, man. They don't care. They don't care, man. You know what I mean? Like, isn't that pretty much all Israelite women in the crowd there? Maybe one or two men that probably work with him. But the women are the leaders of this group, man. You already know that the women are the leaders of this group. If these men started talking, the women would be telling them to be quiet, man. All these big, overweight women, man. But people always want to try and run their mouths talking about you hate the black woman, you hate the black woman, all that. They hate us, man. So how about that? They hate us. They hate us, man. They don't look you'll never see an Israelite woman look more happy, right, than when she's with an Edomite, man. That's when she's in her most happy state, man, and her most feminine state, man. When she's with Esau in some way, even if she's with Esau in the lowest position, that's still when she'll be at her happiest, man. That's when she'll be at her happiest, man. And that's why, ultimately, man, these Israelite women are our enemy, man. Straight up. They're our enemy, bro. And anyone that's got a problem with that, well, maybe you're the enemy of the Israelites too, if you think that they're not our enemy, because the scriptures say otherwise, man. The scriptures say that the women of our nation are going to be our enemy. And that's not all of them, but a majority of them are going to be our enemy. And that's why Micah chapter 7 and verse 10 even exists as a scripture. The scriptures let you know that the Israelite woman was going to be wicked. And that's why Yahweh is going to, according to Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 6, have to take away all the things that she uses. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 16, down to the 24th chapter, that he was going to have to take away all the things that she uses to build up her pride, that she uses to beautify herself, hair, nose jewels, bracelets, all that stuff, the mirrors, right? Everything that she has, Yahweh's going to have to take that away for her to become humble and to be laid desolate and sit on the ground. And then in that day, 7 women was going to take hold of one man, saying we'll eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. And that's why women are going to have money in this world, man, almost competitively to the man. So that when it goes down, the woman's going to say, take whatever you want of my riches. Just let me be covered by you. That's what's going to be happening, man. And in some of the cases, the men are going to say, no. No, thank you. Right? But anyway, if brothers want to watch this, man, it just shows, man, that the Israelite woman is gullible, man. Right? The Israelite woman is very gullible, man. They're gullible. And they're part of the cause as to why our nation's so jacked up now, man. And they love guys like this, man. They love when a guy like this shows up. They trust him, man. But when a guy with a beard and an afro shows up, right, unless he's a rapper, they don't really rocking with him. Unless he's got gold teeth and he's talking about pimps and hoes, they don't really trust that image. You know what I mean? They don't really trust the image of a so-called black man unless he's a rapper, or unless he's a basketball player, or a football player, or NFL player, or an actor. Other than that, they ain't really rocking with it, man. They ain't really rocking with it. But anyway, All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. Shalom.